Hey guys, it's Philip and this is Swiss Portrait and we are doing interview together. We are releasing a new album on cassette and you should check it out. But first, you listen to this interview. So thank you, Michael, for joining us today.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, funny story. We had this same interview yesterday, but luckily or unfortunately, I didn't press record. So yeah, but we had a really nice chat. So we are trying it again today. So, first of all, like, why did you start it making music? Like, what was the inspiration for that?
Okay, you are pressing record.
Yeah. I have it says recording.
Okay. So I guess I'd maybe start from lockdown because that's because there's quite a relatively recent history with Swiss Portrait, and yeah, I was a contemporary artist before. I was did like sculpture and video art and things like that, and then COVID came along and I had some exhibitions cancelled, and I was just bored in the house, and then I was like, oh, needed a creative outlet, and then so I started making music again. I used to make music when I was in school, and then when I left school as well. But when I was at art school, I just didn't really have enough time because it was taken up with other stuff. But yeah, just started making music because it was fun and something to do. And then yeah, I just love it. It's really fun. It's a different way to express yourself and stuff from the other sort of creative industries. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have like any memories with like cassettes or music in general when you were
Yeah.
a child?
Yeah, I do. This is kind of weird because we did this the exact same thing. Oh no, hold on. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Oh, that's heartbreaking. My 8mm film thing just fell over. Oh, okay, it's fine. Right, okay. Oh my gosh, right, I'll leave it. It fell over. I know. No. Yeah, sorry. Right. Okay. Maybe cut that bit.
No, we all have it there. It's funny.
Yeah. Oh God. Anyway, okay, yeah. So cassettes, yeah. I have like loads of memories of cassettes when I was growing up, like this little cassette player that's above my head that's on the shelf. That it's a little recorder, and like I remember when I was little, I used to just like sit and put like blank cassettes in it, or cassettes that had loads of stuff on it, and you'd speak into it or sing into it or just record stuff off the radio or like the TV and things, and like you could totally like it was just fun to do, and I've used it in like loads of music videos. This one's like in like the cassette video and the what's that on the Patagonia one, but you can't really tell because I just saw like a shadow in the background. But yeah, it's just yeah, I love it. I've always loved cassettes and things that are analog and stuff like that. And yeah, it's like really fun.
Yeah, I just remember that we used to do the mixtapes with my brother, and
All right.
we had like some like super dance mix, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like all this like 90s pop songs, and it was trashy, but like it was so fun. Like I had just good memories with cassettes, so
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that the format is back.
Yeah,
And
for sure. I think it's really
yeah,
cool. It's a way better. I like it more than like CDs as well because it's like there's like an element of like analog, like people like film and like film cameras and stuff like that, and there's that element of like it ages, whereas a CD just sort of like if it's scratched, it's then goosed, and there's like it just won't play, whereas a cassette will sound a bit funky if it's like warped or anything like that. So it's like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely for me it was like when I started it was like more uh kind of like what I want to do. I was like, okay, I will try cassettes. I like that format. And but after every further release, it was so growing on me that like at the end I was like, I cannot release on anything else. Even like I was doing the vinyl, but I was like, I don't like it. It's like it's not my heart in it, you know. And
Yeah,
even
I know
with the
what you mean.
CDs, is like I have CDs, but I like playing cassettes much better.
Yeah,
Actually, I like it more than playing vinyl, but
yeah,
still like
I know
it's
what you
I don't
mean.
know, like it became a kind of part of my personality in a way.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I like cassettes. Finals are cool as well, but like for like making them for like music, it just costs an absolute fortune. It's
yeah,
so expensive, and like it's not it's not like a it's like a big number just to push out straight away, and it's like it's like a major. It have to be like it's like a major operation as well because it's not like a quick turnaround. It's like months and months and months of waiting to get the um the vinyl back. So but we're talking about cassettes, so
yeah,
like it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
good.
So yeah, talking about the cassette, like you have the new album out. It's
Mhm.
actually second day of the release. So
Yeah.
how does it feel? Like, oh,
Yeah, feels pretty good. I'm pretty chuffed. I'm really happy with it. I love the way it sounds, and I really like it. Yeah, just really happy to have it out, and yeah, and thank you so much for wanting to go on this little adventure with me.
yeah, you know,
It
like
was
always.
I know.
And even I was talking to my wife about like this interview
Yeah,
and the screw up I made yesterday, and she was like, "Yeah, that's the album you posted on Facebook. I listened to it and I like it." And I was like, "Cool,"
good stuff.
because my wife is a little bit picky, but I'm
Yeah,
glad that she likes it, and I'm
cool.
I so far like I have just like good positive uh like feedback from people, so
Yeah,
I'm
I've
excited.
had like good feedback from it as well, which is really good. It's
Yeah,
like it's a bit different, I think, from when because uh for we released Familiar Patterns together, the first one, and I think it's a bit different from that one. I think it's definitely moved on to how I was feeling at that moment, and the sound's a bit different. But yeah, I think so it's like it's quite interesting to hear what how people have taken to it. So yeah, but it's kind of lucky that some people kind of like it, so it's good.
yeah. And the funny part was like yesterday when you told me about the how the familiar patterns were created. It was
Oh
kind of
yeah. So like the only reason so when I started making the music, because I sent you we only had the songs these days and Find My Way Out,
yeah,
and then you wrote about Find My Way, and you reviewed it in your blog, this blog, Start Track,
yeah,
and then because you were Z-Tapes back then,
yeah,
and um, you were like, oh, would you like to release it as a cassette or an album? And I was like, okay. So that was like the process of writing that album was that you asked me, and on the day that you asked me to release the album on cassette, I wrote the song cassette because I thought it'd be hilarious to have a song called cassette on a cassette. So like not the funniest, but I was like, that's so funny that I would just yeah. And then I had that song for ages. That was like that would have been in the October that you suggested that, and then we released it in the July the year after, which
yeah,
is like mad. But yeah, it was a it was just so funny that yeah, on that day I was like, I'll write a song good cassette and see how it sounds.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
it worked well. It's your most popular one on
I know. All because of you.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I almost wrote it. No, actually, it's
uh,
kind of funny. Yeah, and actually, I remember the time when I discovered your music. It was like I think the dream pop was like a little bit starting, like to like the sound, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is cool. And now now there's a lot of bands like kind of doing this reverby, dreamy, whatever indie pop.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it at that time, and I really loved the aesthetics. I remember like you having the video with in the forest.
Oh yeah.
That was really nice. Like I really enjoyed it. Like how does that like whole kind of imaginary for the albums or kind of
Yeah.
concept, like how is that created?
So it's like it's quite similar to the way that my art is and what my art is. I make a lot of video art and things like that, and it's sort of like it's based on where I was living. So that the video Find My Ways, I walk along a river in a place outside of Edinburgh, and that's like where I used to walk my dogs, and I used to see it all the time, and I was like, this looks so cool. Be quite funky to do a little video on there. So yeah, and then I would just go out and do videos, and I used to do that before with art and do like a video in that sort of space, and then I was like, I'll just do a video, and so yeah, I sort of like just like that sort of feel and look of things. I like those kind of like that sort of imagery and things like that. Even so much so that I made that video that came out this morning. The where I did basically 8 versions of that thing for like of the full of the album. I just made like a video of me in a bunch of places doing singing the songs for the crippling pain of happiness, and like yeah, I quite like it. But it's different because I live in Glasgow now, and it's not Glasgow's like just in case there's anyone from Scotland listening, Glasgow's like lovely, but it's not like the Borders or the Highlands. It's like a big city, and there's like quite a lot of rubbish, like litter and stuff like that, and people litter everywhere. So like I had to like embody that into some of the stuff that I was doing, and then and it so like but it is like it's quite brutalist. The city has like really nice parts, but it's not like trees and foresty looking stuff. It's all quite like it's a different vibe from where I grew up in the Highlands and um where I lived before I moved here. But yeah, it's a so like the video has like some sort of like Glasgow has these big long alleyways behind all their blocks of flats and stuff like that, where I did quite a few of the videos, and like it's the only places that are really quiet that no one walks down to bother you. Probably because back in the day you used to get stabbed down those alleyways a bit. But like now they're just like no one's there and they're just filled with like mattresses and washing machines and things like that. And then you get a little opening. But there's like parts of the video where I went to a big park in Glasgow called Pollock Park, which is near where I live in Glasgow. Um, and yeah, I walked down there and it's like quite empty. It's got like the the museum that's in the middle of it won like an award this year for the best museum in Britain or something. That like the it's a massive park where yeah, it's really nice and stuff. So I just there was time to go and hide there and do my videos in peace without anyone. Whereas before, when I lived in the countryside, there was like no one about, so I didn't even have to think about people walking their dogs past me. Do you know what's actually really funny? Sorry to say, do you know the
Mm-hmm.
video from Find My Way?
Mm-hmm.
At
Yes.
that moment, there was it was hunting season, so
Mm-hmm.
like on I have an outtake of in that video where I literally like duck like that because there's like the sound of bullets above my head, where people are like hunting for like grouse and stuff like that, and I was like, I was like, oh my god. So I had to like, you could hear it. I try and see if I can find the video, but it's like just like you just hear the gunshots, and you're like, I'm like, oh my god, what is this? But yeah, it was insane. But yeah, because like it's pretty rare to hear that in like Scotland, unless you're in like big in like places. But yeah, it was quite funny. But yeah, I think the
Yeah.
aesthetics are just something I enjoy doing anyway. Yeah.
That's a great story. I have a similar story that like one time like some hunters were talking to me like, you shouldn't be here because we may shot you. I was like, am I looking like an animal to you? It was like,
I know.
it's so it was so funny as well. Like, and I will link the videos below. So
All right, yeah, cool.
this section. So check it out later on. And like, what about the lyrics for your songs? Like this one is a little bit different from
Yeah.
with the previous albums. Like, what was the difference, or where did you? It was what was the inspiration for?
So like the before when I was writing songs for like Familiar Patterns or the other one called Safe House, which was an EP, it was more just fitting words to the melody and the way I was singing and just trying to just write something and then see if I could make sense of it, to be honest, and see if I could write something that was interesting. Whereas the songs for these ones were more about um me being sad and stuff. Like for instance, the song before is about the feeling and how I felt because I was in a car accident at the start of the year with my wife, um, uh, where we like rolled our car and we like skidded along the road and stuff. We were on our side and it was pretty horrific. And but we were all okay luckily. But my dog did break a tooth, which was pretty sad because they were in the back seats and but we had seatbelts on, so they had seatbelts on, so it was all okay. But yeah, and then I just wrote about having the issues that sort of come up after sort of things like that. And then there's a song on the album as well called Always, which is about my brother Alan, who died when I was 8 years old. He drowned, and it's about how like him growing up, and then like how I met I met Josie, my wife, and then we like she's my best friend, and then how he never got to meet her, and then like and it's just like weird to think things of like how people never actually these things happen, and yeah, it's just talk about stuff like that, and then yeah, it's sort of like just trying to have songs that had a more of a lyrical meaning to me at that time, where I didn't want to be like had a more meaning to me when I was writing them, but also I would try to make them like ambiguous enough so that anyone could like project their own meaning onto the songs and not really take away. But I feel like maybe this time around with some of these songs, they are quite like you can tell what they're about, maybe, and they're not like so yeah, it's just like me being a bit of a sad boy, and then with things with like anxiety and stuff that's taken over my last since January. It's taken over my life, which has been the worst. And where I was usually quite carefree and didn't really care about anything, whereas like these things sort of like take over everything. So yeah, it's kind of reflection on what that's been like. So yeah.
I totally
Before I just sang anything.
Yeah, I totally feel you. Like this year, for even me personally, like anxiety went up to the roof. I don't. Maybe it's the after COVID effect. Something I don't know. Like
it's Brexit and it's COVID. Brexit's an absolute terror. Hate it so much. By the way, in Scotland, we didn't want it.
Yeah, I know.
Like we don't want it. We hate the queues when you get over into like any other country.
Yeah.
We're standing there feeling like, oh no. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, it's like all these things coming in with COVID and all these sort of stuff.
Yeah. You can leave Great Britain and join European Union.
Oh, anytime. We wanted to do that. It's so bad.
I know.
hate the Tories.
Everyone I'm talking from Great Britain, especially in our age, is like it's
quite a lot of older people. Like,
yeah.
there was like yeah, it's crazy. You heard like some stories of like but then I've been to like places in England where like you hear them say stuff and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was an actual. I didn't realize anyone had those sort of opinions where it was like bad opinions. Well, not
Yeah,
bad, but like really jarring. And you're like, oh my goodness, and you're like, where did that come from? Where's your like evidence to support that sort of thing? But
yeah,
yeah, it was just crazy. But yeah, whereas like there was like so Scotland had an opportunity to like leave Great Britain,
I
like
know.
to be independent, and like there was like a lady who lived beside my mum and dad's, and in Rennes, and she voted no to not leave because she was worried about the TV shows that she liked not being on the TV anymore. I was like, it doesn't work like that. It was like, so there was like, oh god, but yeah,
Yeah.
never mind. These things
Everyone
happen.
has reasons.
Yeah, she just didn't want to miss her TV shows. uh,
Yeah.
uh,
What about like Glasgow musically? Is it affecting you at all, or is it not
I
really?
think it, I think it did a wee bit. I think like I think it got affected by so this new album. I think in the back of my head as well, I was making it more rocky, making it more louder and a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more aggressive because when we played live, those sort of songs always like seem to hit home with the people in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't help but sometimes write songs that like do that. And I was like thinking instead of just making a song, I was thinking of making a song that might sound quite fun and good live as well, which
Mm-hmm.
I think in a way was a good thing to do. But also like I feel like it was maybe like looking back on it now because I wrote these songs ages ago now. Like these songs were written almost all finished by February, I think it was when we were talking about it. Uh and then like and then yeah, so it was I think it has affected the way in a sense like how I was writing the songs, but also like as well as that like I'm in Glasgow and I'm like maybe slightly part of the Scottish music scene, but I don't really know if I am, if you know what I mean. Like
Mm-hmm.
what if we are, it's like when we play like live and stuff, like I remember the first time we played me and the guys played in Glasgow for like the second or the first time we played a place in Glasgow thing and we people came to see us and they were surprised that to find out that we were Scottish because they thought we weren't Scottish. They thought we were American. And I was like, oh no, I'm from the Highlands. It was like because like there's just not because they found us online rather than via like I don't know like going to small shows and stuff like that and seeing us play smaller shows because it came out of COVID and like we didn't I didn't do like the like play like loads of these like I don't know, like open mics things, and I wasn't in the music scene beforehand as well because I was an art student. I didn't hang around with musicians and all that. Like, um, I had friends that played guitar and made music in that was like art music, which is a completely different thing. It's more about making sounds rather than making like a like a song. It's more like do you know that meme where it's like about white people liking art? Have you seen it?
I'm not sure. Maybe
Oh,
yeah. Probably
yeah.
yeah.
It's like only things that white people like, and it's
Uh-huh.
like it's like there's like a video of like someone doing something like an artist in the room, and they're just doing something like mad, like for instance, like there's a student in ours when we were at art school who came in and did a poo on a table in
Okay.
front of us, and then left the room, and like And it was like that would be like a perfect thing for that meme. Where like oh, things that white people pretend to like, and like that was like that's what it's kind of like when you hear like music from like art school, because it's like it's not good. It's just like sounds that are like hurt your ears rather than maybe there's like a pleasure to that. But no, it's like yeah, so it was like I didn't have friends that were like making. I had DJs friends who did DJs who were like amazing at it, but like not really anyone who did like this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it was like kind of different. So yeah, when I came to like being in Glasgow and being around loads of people, I didn't know anyone. Still don't really know anyone. Like yeah, it's like as well as like Scotland's quite a small country, like and especially because the two biggest cities are Edinburgh and Glasgow, and they're like at most like an hour drive away from each other, and like uh, it seems like everyone knows everyone. Like the people that I play live with, like they like seem to know like everyone, or they've been in bands with other people before that have played live, and like it's crazier. Like how do you know so many people like in this like scene because it's so small? But yeah, it's interesting. It's like it's different. But yeah. Sorry, I think I totally went off in a different tangent for a wee second
No,
there, so I'm
it's
so sorry.
it's completely okay. I actually enjoyed it because yeah, you were like talking about like playing shows, like how is playing shows now, like after the COVID? Like, is it like do you see like people are interested, or like
um,
how's the reaction from fans actually?
so it's quite good. Like we've had like some really good shows, where we've played like there's like a really popular music venue in Scotland called King Tut's,
Hmm.
and we played that. We got to headline that one time, which was really amazing, and it was really fun to do. And we had like a really good crowd, and they were all really fun. And yeah, so but I think what the issue is that like as well as like Scotland is like the Glasgow and Edinburgh are the two biggest cities, and but they're nowhere near as like big as other cities. They're quite small. Glasgow's like closer to what a city is, like a proper European sort of big city, whereas like Edinburgh is just like a slightly overgrown town, and it's like a different thing, and like whereas like yeah it's Glasgow seems to be like oversaturated with like gigs. So you see like on the same night, for instance, I think the band Always were playing at the same time as like who was it again? I think it was like the same day as like Men I Trust. You know the
Hmm.
yeah. I think they were both playing the same day in Glasgow, and it was
Interesting.
like they yeah, it was like maybe that would be all right in London
Mhm.
or like anywhere else, but like those both of those fans would be going to like the same gig.
Yeah.
Like so like or they would want to go to the same show really. So like yeah, but what's happening is that there's so many bars in Glasgow and events getting put on that sometimes the shows are just so quiet. Whereas like there's loads of big massive bands playing as well, playing and yeah, so it's quite interesting. But for us, it's been good fun. We've enjoyed it. We were playing down. We played had our first headline show in London the other day, which was quite fun. We played with Atmos Bloom. You know the you've
Yeah.
probably yeah, and um which was really fun. And there was yeah, it was really good fun to do that. And then yeah, so yeah, we're just just doing that, and then yeah, it's been different. It's like it's a different sort of feeling. I think at first everyone was kind of nervous. I was nervous. I used to try and play and go home, play the show and then go home because like I was scared about getting COVID because I got COVID like 3 times after we played live,
Hmm.
and I was like, this is just nuts.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, I was like, I don't want to. Not that I didn't want to see people. I just was like, I'm gonna have to wear a mask all the time. And there was like And when you start wearing masks, everyone looks at you now as well, like, well, you're still wearing a mask. And you're like, oh man, like I can't be bothered coughing anymore. Like that's the issue. But yeah, no, it's all right. I still like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll play live for a wee while. Now we've got a show in in Middlesbrough or Newcastle. I can't remember. It's in one of those. And then we're playing again in London in December. But yeah, we're not playing. We're not. I'm not. I don't think we'll play in Scotland until next year again, unless something like we get offered something pretty decent. But yeah, I think just going to have a little break from playing live in Scotland for a wee while until it feels like we should play again.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And
yeah,
like what do you do? Like you said, like you're making art. Like what is your like daily job, or besides that, is it just like
right, yeah. So I used to work in art school in Edinburgh. I was a technician, but I work at a university in Edinburgh still, actually. But I work from home quite a bit, and it's a really boring job. I won't go into it. It's like there's like the guy who Rowan, who plays drums for Swiss Portrait, who plays drums live. He used to be one of the students.
Okay.
And like that was there, but we're all like the same age. But I just he went back to uni to go and do stuff. But like yeah, it's just quite funny. It's like everyone's older than me by about 30 years. So it's like when I'm working in my job, it's like so yeah, it's quite funny. I basically just help students and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool.
Then, I don't really want to go into it.
You know, like it's okay. Like I think like most of the musicians are kind of feeling bad for, you know, having some income, you know, like
oh no, yeah.
And
no,
it's like
I love
yeah, it's like we all do something, you know, to pay our bills.
Yeah.
And music is our passion, and
there's not a chance on earth at all I could not have my job at the university. Like no way. Like I would not make enough money to like pay even for like for rent at all. It's just crazy. But no. I worked. I used to work at the art school in Edinburgh as a technician. I used to teach people how to do like Photoshop and stuff like that. And then like I then started working at a university in Edinburgh called Heriot University, and I do stuff to help students there. And then but yeah, it's like it's good fun.
Yeah.
I have a lot of students always panicking and telling me stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite nice when you see someone who's not that much, because everyone, because I went to an art school and everyone was like a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more weird. Whereas like these are like they're all artsy and like weird in a good way. Like I like weird. Weird's my favorite. I feel comfortable around weird. Like and then whereas not like academic universities, everyone's like that. A lot of the students are far different from what my university experience was like. So it's quite interesting seeing what it's like. Yeah. Well, I'm going to shut my mouth now.
Cool. Actually, it's great that you are even enjoying that. It's I think like enjoying your work, whatever it is, it's quite important, like part of like mental health in a way, because I know it personally that it's not healthy when you are struggling in your daily job, even though you have good hobbies.
Yeah, for sure. You just want to get away from your daily job to do your hobbies.
Yeah. Okay, so just last two questions, like maybe like what are your goals like with the music, or what do you plan like
Yeah. So like the goals are, it would be pretty cool to do it like as a job. Let's be serious. That would be amazing if I could do it as a job. But if not, um, it'd be cool just to continue playing and hopefully, I really like playing live. It's really fun. Um, we sound quite a lot different live than we do in recording. We're a lot louder and a wee bit more jump about you. But I think like I've already started thinking about the next like album and all that, and where that's going to go down. And like I feel like there's a song on it that called "I Know," you know, the little short one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's something I might be maybe teasing to say, oh, that's something that might go down more towards,
Yeah.
where it's like, it's more like I really enjoyed like doing that, and it'd be really fun to do that live. But the boy, I play with a couple of boys live, and um, I think it'd be cool. I think they're wanting. I would like to, and I would like them to have an input of help and writing and stuff like that, which would be fun. Or at least have some sort of input. But if not, there's no pressure on them to do that. But yeah, there's also but yeah, just to see where it goes. It'd be cool one day to like not to worry about it, uh, and just to have like uh be like yeah, just not to worry about having like a normal job and then just doing that. But in all honesty, like it'd be really cool. If I think if it comes to like a point where I can't, where it's just like trying to think of what to do next, I wouldn't mind doing what you're doing something like what you do and release cassettes for people and stuff like that. I know you probably think it's an absolute
Yeah, no, do it.
yeah, I do. I wouldn't want to take your but no, I've always I remember you used to share. I can't remember the name of the you had a podcast that you used to tell you used to post about,
Yeah,
and it was
other record labels.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, that was it. And then like I went on that and I've been listening to that. Yeah, there's quite a lot of work into it. It's not as easy as it seems, is it? But um like um like yeah, that'd be quite fun. But yeah, just enjoying making music and then hopefully and people like listening to it. So yeah, as long as people want to listen to it and I want to make it, I'll keep on making music.
Hey guys, we are back. Thank you Zoom for having free calls. And we were talking about like your like goals or your like kind of plans with the music, but like what what was most challenging like during this like few years you are making music? Like what was the hardest part for you?
Um, uh, the hardest part, I don't know. I think the hardest part is probably so like if I go back to the start because it's quite a relatively new history with Swiss Portrait. It's not like it's been a band for forever. It's it's COVID. So like I think first it was when I put out. So like I tell. Do you want to know? I'll tell you something funny.
Okay,
Like
go ahead.
like Swiss Portrait's called Swiss Portrait because Josie, my wife,
Mhm.
who wasn't my wife before we got married in COVID, um, she's got Swiss heritage,
Mm-hmm.
and then I used to be an artist, so that's why it was called Swiss Portrait. Everyone wants like a way better story than that, but there's not one. and like and uh, and I didn't want anyone to know it was me in case it was really rubbish. And like, so like, like when I first made the account on Instagram, it was like it was called like music and pictures because I was just making music and I was just drawing pictures of like because we got like Procreate on like our on the iPad and I was like, oh, this is kind of sick to use and draw with, and I was learning how to use it so I could show other people. And then like yeah, we got that, and then we were just drawing stuff in there, and then yeah, then it was Josie was like, oh, just tell people, and that was the hardest part was to actually like show people the music because I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to, and then like yeah, I think that was the hardest part, and the hardest part was after that when just coming to release songs and being really nervous about it and being worried about what people thought uh, and things like that. And now I'm still nervous, but I'm not as I didn't get as worried as I was before. So that was like the hardest part. It's actually the making of the music. It's actually quite. It's like the fun bit and the more fun bit. I love sitting like right here on this at this desk and making all the songs because this is where I do it right here. and and yeah, it's that's like the most fun bit, and then the bit afterwards, like when you release it, sometimes it's quite nervy, and then that's the hard bit. But yeah, probably
Oh,
that.
yeah. And do you have any other hobbies besides music and like doing
No,
art?
yeah. Well, I used to go fishing
Mm-hmm.
like all the time. I used to love going fishing. I was like a when I was a wee boy, my dad used to take me fishing quite a lot, and I was like a wee champion fisherman. I used to win loads of trophies and stuff like that when fishing competitions. It was for like trout, like trout and salmon. But it was never
Yeah.
salmon, but it was always trout. But yeah, trout and salmon and pike, which is yeah, and then just like north of Scotland fish. It's too cold up north for like different species of fish. It's basically the only two, unless you go sea fishing. But like yeah, there's like so I used to do that quite a lot. Obviously, I went to art school, so I did my hobby was what I studied, and
Mm-hmm.
and um, um, uh, and then yeah, and music is like my hobby as well because it's not a job. It can't. I can't. If I think about look at it as a job, it'll be less fun and like because it's not a job yet because it doesn't. I don't have to. I don't doesn't pay for enough to be a job. It's more like a little side hustle if you're thinking it in money terms, but it's not. I think it's still a hobby because I enjoy it and I love doing it, and I make music for the sake of that. I want to make something creative rather than it being uh, like an ambition to be like the world's biggest dream pop person or anything like that. I don't have like it'd be amazing if for that, but I would never. It's not like a goal. It's like I just want to make songs that I like, and if I like them, that's good enough.
Yeah. Cool. And maybe the last question, even though I said the last two, but we
Yeah,
prolong it a little bit,
that's all
but
right. Yeah,
yeah, we
you
are
may laugh as
enjoying
long as
it.
you want.
So, name three artists you would recommend.
3 hours I
Three,
would recommend.
yes, three books
Oh,
and three movies.
oh,
It can be
dear
something recent.
Lord. Uh, okay.
A Swiss portrait, Swiss portrait, Swiss portrait.
oh my gosh, no. Do you know? Literally, I like this is kind of bad. I've never listened to Steve Lacy, but I was listening to him recently.
Mm-hmm.
But he's mega famous, so that doesn't count. Let's see. I was listening to a lot of I was been listening to Park Squares and Alleys.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Okay.
them?
Yeah.
I quite like them. And then there was a band called Sisyphus. they have a song called "Twist You Up," and
Uh-huh.
I quite like that. That's kind of cool. That's kind of a cool song. And then I'll go on and have a look at what I added to my. I have like a playlist that I haven't updated in ages called Cassette Tapes Volume One. It's all like meant to be like that.
Yeah.
Uh, oh God. Who's in there? Um. Uh. I they're all. I like all the people on that one. Um. I like. I really like Van Sire, but everyone will probably know them if they're
Yeah.
doing pop music. There's like I'll say another two. There's a two. There's a guy. I don't know where he's from. I messaged him on like Instagram before. He's called Tide Rider, and he has like
Mhm.
really surfy songs. And
Okay.
I totally love him. He's got like it just sounds. I just don't love them. They're like and then there's a band called Moto Bandit,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they're American as well. I really like them. And then there's a band, and I like. Oh, I'm going to start naming ones. I'm going to do way more than three. There's like one called Henry Nowhere, who I like,
Mm-hmm.
and there's and then a person called VHS Sports that I quite like as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're cool, and then also like I was literally just talking to him right now. Cool Heat. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I was literally yeah. I just messaged him on Instagram there going, he was like, it'd be cool to have a show in Chicago. And I was like, oh man, Chicago's so far away from Glasgow. But yeah, I'll just
And
hop on a plane. No, but
yeah.
yeah, that would be cool.
You
And then
can.
there's like loads of other bands. I think there's like on the Spotify thing when you go on like the artists you also, that people also like sort of thing at the bottom. I think I've listened to like Beach Vacation a lot and Lunar Isles. God, there's so many people that I like
I,
all of those people. And Phantom Handshakes. You got to say Phantom Handshakes
oh
because like
yeah.
yeah, I have to. I like
Uh,
and I do like them. I like them a
yes.
lot. And like yeah, Federica sang. I would have done a whole album of Federica singing, but I think that would have just been like
That would be
Ed Swiss.
fantastic.
That'd be like yeah. That would have been Phantom Handshakes, and I would probably have to call like Swiss Handshakes or something like that, or Phantom Portraits. Oh, that's a cool name. But
Uh, you
yeah,
should do a split EP or something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that would have been cool.
Eh,
It's way better when you don't have to sing, by the way, when you're writing songs. If you can just write songs for other people, you have no worries about not being able to sing it because all the pressure's on them. You're just like, crack on. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's quite funny. But yeah, no, I listen to quite a lot of people that in that sort of stuff. But I do like the people who I listen to like a lot are like a band called Fire Caspian and Men I Trust. I listen to them a lot. Like and Van Sire. I listen
Yeah.
to them like all not really bands that are like super sporty, I guess, but maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
yeah.
I will try to link this as well in the comment section.
Good luck
I,
remembering all of them.
yeah, I have all this little
Yeah.
it's kind of funny.
Uh,
Yeah, so just maybe like from top of your head, like some movie you saw recently that you enjoyed really much,
um,
or and
I,
some book.
I haven't gone to the cinema in ages. Well,
Yeah,
that's not true. I did. I went to the cinema to go see the new Indiana Jones movie.
I saw it too.
I thought it was rubbish.
It
I was like,
was.
I was so gutted. I used to love Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and like I had like I remember probably everyone got them, but like my mum bought me like the box set
yeah.
as like a Christmas present, uh, along with like the original Jurassic Parks, and I was like, oh my gosh, and the Back to the Future movies. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like brilliant. And then like even the one before this one, the one that was called Crystal Skull or something, I hated that. But I like Indiana Jones so much, and I like Harrison Ford so much that I was like, oh, it'll be all right. But no, and then but yeah, I've seen that, and I quite like that. I like Wes Anderson movies a lot. I haven't seen Asteroid City. Uh,
You
uh,
should. You
is it
should.
good? Yeah. I'll go and watch that. It's actually on like it's on Apple TV now,
That's
and
cool.
like yeah. So like I got it for free for a year somehow. I can't remember what I had to do, but I had to do something. But I got free for a year, and then like so yeah, I so like yeah, that's why I've got it, and yeah, but yeah, like so that I like that Wes Anderson movies, and what other things movies do I watch? Um, well, yeah, I like rubbish movies, to be honest. I like Wes Anderson and all that. And well, do you know what it was? I used to, in art school, I've talked said art school so many times, but like in art school, one of the parts of the studying that I used to do was where you had to pick an elective, and it was contemporary film. So I've watched hundreds of like contemporary films, and some of them are brilliant, and then some of them are really weird. I'll tell you some um strange movies to watch that will be like quite interesting.
Okay.
There's a movie called Holy Motors. It's a French
Okay.
movie, and it's got Kylie Minogue in it, which is funny. You know Kylie Minogue,
Yes.
the yeah, she's in it, and it's basically like the movie is like this people who drive around in limousines and they create actions and happenings throughout the day.
Hmm.
So like this person create is a different character all the time, and it's just moments that they create, and it's quite interesting. One of the scenes he bites a finger off someone.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty mad. There's it's not really super contemporary, but we looked at it quite a lot. It was called A Scanner Darkly.
Hmm.
It's got Robert Downey Jr. I think I pronounced it right. I might have pronounced it wrong. Uh, uh, yeah, Scanner Darkly. It's got Robert Downey Jr. in it. You know, like the old computer game, Walking Dead. Like I think
Yeah.
it's from. You know how it was filmed in that weird like cartoony motion graphic type
Hmm.
imagery. That's what the whole movie's in like in this kind of darkly, and it's got that's quite a cool movie. Um, and then also we there's like a movie that's not really that we didn't study but we watched quite a bit was called Holy Mountain, and I think
Hmm.
it's like John Lennon or like one of the Beatles' favorite movie. And there's like a scene in it where there's like the Jesus character in the movie climbs this mount like this like plinth like monolith type pyramid structure to the top where he like goes and into this room and strips off naked, poops into a vial like a vase, and then he cycles a bike and he does loads of exercise to turn that poop into gold, and that's like one of the scenes. And then also like you're back in like Jerusalem, where then running around the corners like paparazzi and stuff like that with like cameras. So it's all like messed up. It's really to be honest, I can't remember the the actual narrative of the movie because I don't think I've gotten through the whole thing ever. I've always gone like, oh, this is way too much. But it's like it's just for like the moments in it, you're like, oh, what's going on? But that's like a movie. Yeah, that is a movie. But yeah, I watch like a lot of normal movies as well. Like I haven't really watched anything crazy. I used to have a friend that used to really love like horror movies,
Hmm.
and um and would make me watch horror movies, and I
Hmm.
hate horror movies.
Me
And
too. I
I,
don't like.
I've seen like I've seen so many really bad horror movies, and hate them so much. If anyone ever said yes, like, oh, we should go watch a horror movie, I'd be like, why? Like, I, I want to go and enjoy it. I don't want to be like terrified. I spent that. Someone took me to go see like I think it was like The Conjuring. You know that movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched it like with my jumper like up here like the entire time. And I know like that sounds pretty like terrible, but I was like, I don't like this. I don't. I was just like hiding, but yeah,
Yeah.
any movies like that. But yeah, sure. I think that's. I've probably forgotten
No problem. It's okay.
like cool movies that will give me like street cred.
No. Actually, it is what you like. That's good.
Yeah.
And I like I have like always I'm scared when they're seeing the horror movies, and my wife is always laughing at me because like I'm always like whenever like the scary scene, I'm like I'm like I do this and I'm like moving on the couch like for like few centimeters because of that. Like I'm so easily scared. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I was watching Monsters Inc. Not that long ago, and Josie was like in tears at me because like there was a scene where one of the I think it was like Sully or whatever jumps out from behind the thingy, and I forgot that happened in the movie, and I crapped my pants. I was like so scared. I was like, oh my god! I like it's like a proper jump scare, and I was like, oh, idiot.
Yeah, I was watching Monsters University, the new one, just recently. I really loved it. Actually, it's my favorite movie. I used to.
Good.
Yeah. We used to make fun with my wife about the movie a lot of times. Yeah, and maybe the last thing, like one book that you read recently, something that was enjoyable.
I think all the boys that are in the band, like James and stuff, and Rowan, and if Brett watches it, there's a book I've carried around with me for absolutely ages. I've carried around The Hobbit with me for like forever, and I still haven't read the first page. I've had it like in my pocket, in my bag for so long to like we went away camping and I was like, I'll read it then. And I didn't. And then went went down to London and I was like, I'll read in the car on the way down. And then everyone was freaking out, saying that I was gonna spew in the car because like when you read in the car it's like makes you nauseous. And I was like, oh what? And then so like that doesn't happen to me. But I was affected by everyone else by either going, oh, you're going to be sick. And I was like, all right, well, I'll leave it. And then, so yeah, I've carried it around everywhere and I've not read a single page. But I'm going to say The Hobbit because like it's been on me for so long. I feel like I know the front cover really well. That's about it. Yeah.
Actually, okay, that's a funny story. It was fun chatting with you. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really loved it, and hopefully you guys watching this, hearing us, did you enjoy? Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. And if you like it, let me know in comments. Be sure to check it out, the new album from Swiss Portrait. It's great. You can find it on all platforms. You can get cassette from our blog. We release it, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and just follow Swiss Portrait everywhere. And I will link everything that was said. Probably I will forget something, but feel free
Don't bother
to
with
ask.
the movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Feel free to ask in comments if you need something else that was said here and want to link to it. And hopefully enjoyed it. So have a good time and see you later. Bye.
Bye.